Alright, what's up, everybody? Back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, I'm doing my official award ballot for the 2023 NBA season. I've been talking about all my personal award winners and who I think should win the award, but then again, it's my own opinion, so if these players don't win, I'm not going to be sad about it, but whatever. Thank you guys for the views on the vids and the shorts. Really appreciate it. If you do like the content, consider subscribing, turn on notifications, all stuff like that. Later today, I'm dropping trailer, you would say, for my new series that I'm starting tomorrow, actually. So, very excited for it. And let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. So, for my award, so basically how this is going to work is I'm going to say the award I'm going to give my personal winner for the award and why I think this player won the award. And then after that, I'm going to give my number 2 and number 3, the runner-ups. And we're also not doing it in the order of MVP, Rookie of the Year, 6 man. I'm just doing it in what I think was easiest for me to decide to the harder ones. Let's get it started. We're starting with the Rookie of the Year, and I feel like this one was locked up a while ago, despite what other people are saying. My Rookie of the Year is Paolo Banchero, the number 1 overall pick. He was really, really good this year. This year's stats, 72 games, he averaged 20 points and almost 7 rebounds with 3 assists. He shot 42% from the field, only 29% from 3, and 73% from the free throw line. He just looked like a man among boys around there, really. I mean, you could see it even in Summer League. He was just you could tell, all right, this dude's way too good for Summer League. And then coming into the NBA season, he just took off and was amazing. He was, a lot of points. The Magic's, best player. He just looked, he didn't look like a regular old rookie. He came in already, knowing how he gets his buckets and getting to those spots and knocking down shots. He gets the free throw line a lot with his big body. Loves that little mid-range game. He's really good at that. He's already big, so he's good at getting to the rim. He's not selfish. Well, he finds his teammates when he needs to. He's a decent defender. He just looked very experienced out there for a number 1 overall pick. And you could tell the Magic made the right decision by going here number 1. Because he already looks like he's on a trajectory to being a star, Even if the three-point shot isn't working right now, eventually I think he could be a decent three-point shooter. I don't think he's ever going to be a 40% lights-out three-point shooter, but he's going to be a decent three-point shooter in his career. And if that starts to work, I mean, he's putting up 20 a game without the three-point shot, really. Hitting maybe 1 or 2 a game. Imagine if he actually starts getting into it, it's gonna be a scary sight. But yeah, Paolo's a Rookie of the Year for me. I feel like undoubtedly he's a Rookie of the Year. My number 2 and 3 were Jalen Williams, and Jay Ivey. I feel like both of them had a really good year, especially Jalen Williams. The end of the second half of the year, he really started to turn up. He's really good. And Jay Ivey, I really love Jay Ivey. Those are my 2 and 3. But I got Paolo's Rookie of the Year. Next, we have the Defensive Player of the Year. At my DPOY, I feel like it's another kind of easy one. Jaren Jackson Jr. Despite missing a lot of the first half of the season because he had off-season surgery on his foot, he still came in and was an amazing defender for this team. On the stats on the year, he averaged 18 points, 6 rebounds and assists, a steal, and led the league with 3 blocks per game. He also shot 50% from the field, 35% from 3, 78% from the free throw line. 63 games played. He made his first All-Star team. You could definitely tell when he's out there, the defense is a lot better. The fouls are still a problem. He still fouls out a lot. But, I mean, what he brings on the defensive end is so great. He's, 6'11", really long wingspan, gets a lot of blocks. He has a lot of games where he has, 3 steals, 5 blocks, 2 steals, 4 blocks. He's really good out there defensively. If he could just stop fouling as much, cut those fouls down in, maybe almost half, you know how valuable he would be? It would be insane, especially on the offensive end as well. He could hit the 3, and he's become a lot more, getting down to the paint, scoring. He's been really good the second half of the season, scoring-wise. But I think it's Jaren Jackson Jr. defensively for him. I mean, his stat, you just look at the box scores and the stats, and you see it all. And then you watch it on the court, and, he's really good at blocking shots. My 2 and 3 were Brook Lopez, Definitely got some consideration. And then Nick Claxton as well. Nick Claxton had a very, very good year defensively, but Jaren Jackson is the winner. Next up, we have the most improved player. This is actually a really good race as well, but I feel like the winner should be, in my personal winner, Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen is literally the definition of why the most improved player kind of exists. I feel like he was a top pick. This is number 7 overall back in 2017. In Chicago, has some moments, but then at the end of his Chicago career, kind of like turned into just like a spot up shooter, kind of, and it was just things weren't working out. He goes to Cleveland for a year, is solid. Still has some things to work out, but he's solid. And then he gets traded to Utah, and all of a sudden he blossoms. I mean, he went from last year in Cleveland, he averaged just under 15 points with 5 rebounds and assists. Shot 44% from the field, 35% from 3, 86% of the free throw line. He comes to Utah and averages 25.5 points per game with 8 rebounds, 2 assists, shoots a little bit under 50% from the field, 39% from 3, 87% from the free throw line. He really blossomed into not just a dude that gets a lot of numbers, but he's actually like the Jazz's best player and maybe now a franchise piece going forward for the Utah Jazz because of this season. I mean, he came out and just was dunking on everybody, hitting threes, clutch shots, put up 40, became an all-star starter even. Like, who would ever thought Lauri Markkanen, all-star starter? Like, that's crazy. And he really just revolutionized his game and his like career off that, you know? Like, he's legitimately now, I feel like, a piece of the Utah Jazz for the future. And while the Jazz, I think, are going to be better, are going to be good for this rebuild, you know? But yeah, I think it's got to be Larry Markkanen. I mean, he's like the definition of why this award exists and why this award is so good, because guys like this, Larry Markkanen, can revive their careers from being just a regular role player to becoming an all-star, you know? It's really nice to see. My 2 and 3 were Jalen Brunson and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But I feel like this is Larry Markkanen's award. It should be Larry Markkanen's award. Next award we have is the 6th Man of the Year. This was a really tough race for me. Like, honestly, till like earlier today, I didn't know who I was going to have for my 6th Man of the Year. I was going back and forth between 2 people. But ultimately, I decided Immanuel Quickley is my 6th Man of the Year. Quickley has been really good for New York after having a kind of a real rough start, and he was in trade rumors really early in the season. But then around like mid-December, early January, he really started to heat up, and he's been great ever since. Statistically, he averaged 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Shot just under 45% from the field, 37% from 3, 81% from the free throw line. He just brought energy. Like, that's what he brings, so much energy off the bench to this really good Knicks team. You have Jalen Brunson, who's been insane this season, but then you have Immanuel Quickley come off the bench to kind of help him out when he goes to the bench, and it's not really a big drop-off. You know, Quickley, you know, he's had moments where he's lining up the guard and hitting a lot of threes, finding his teammates as well. His passing ability has been pretty solid this season. And yeah, he's just those 6 men you want, like, you know, those backup guards that just come off the bench and let the crowd get into it, you know, give some energy, get buckets. Also finding his teammates as well. He's had some huge games, especially recently. He's had a couple 30 pieces, a 40 piece against the Rockets. I mean, he's a really good candidate for 6th Man, and yeah, he should be the 6th Man of the Year this season, which would be really nice to see Immanuel Quickley 6th Man. But yeah, my other ones, Norman Powell was who I was going back and forth with Immanuel Quickley, but the only thing that got me away from Norman Powell is the games. He's only played 58 games this year. Immanuel Quickley's played 80 games this year. So yeah, that's ultimately what it was. But Norman Powell had a really good year, and then Malcolm Brogdon I threw into that conversation as well. He's been just like a rock, backing up for the Boston Celtics this year. Next, we have a new award, Clutch Player of the Year award to the clutchest player, and I feel like this one is a very easy one. He's been running away with it. De'Aaron Fox. He's hit so many big time shots. He's been amazing in the 4th quarter for this really good Kings team this year. And yeah, you just watch. Honestly, this is just, you watch it and you can see. Watch De'Aaron Fox in the 4th quarter and you're like, okay, yeah, this is the clutch player of the year. He's hit so many big time shots. The first one that comes to mind is that half court shot against Orlando, which was insane. He literally just he had like 2 seconds left, but he was like, nope, I'm pulling up from half court. And he knocked it down with confidence and hit it to win the game. He's had so many big shots to kind of put daggers on other teams. I mean, he's clutch player of the year, no doubt. I don't even have any two other runner-ups. De'Aaron, he's the clutch player of the year. And now finally, the last player award, the MVP. Who is the most valuable player of the NBA season to me? And I feel like this is the easy one. Well, not really easy, but for me, I kind of knew who I was going to pick. Joel Embiid. Joel has been really, 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 really good this year for a really good Philadelphia 76er team that's third in the Eastern Conference. He's been on another level. His stats, he averaged 33 points per game with back-to-back scoring titles as well, back-to-back years averaging 30. He also averaged 10 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 1.7 blocks, shot 54% from the field, 33% from 3, and 85% from the free line. His best field goal shooting season. He was unstoppable, really, this year. He's had so many big games. He had that game really early in the season against Utah. He had like 59, 11, 7, 5 steals. It was insane, that game. He's just had so many MVP moments, putting the team on his back, hitting big shots, having dominant performances against anybody who wants it. And yeah, the Sixers will be nowhere near this without Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is a huge part. He is the process of the 76ers. And you saw it this year when you're watching him. You're like, oh man, this guy is like, this guy's amazing. This guy is a big man that can do whatever he wants, can score on whoever he wants, whenever he wants to. And then defensively, too, he's not a slouch either. Defensively, he can give it to you as well. So I think like he's the MVP. Of course, my number 2 and number 3, Giannis and Jokic. I mean, those two were phenomenal this season as well. You got to give them all their credit. Even though a lot of people talk about the MVP race and kind of disrespect the other opponents, the other runner-ups and stuff, those two, Giannis and Jokic, any other regular year, they would have been MVP for sure. I mean, those two had phenomenal years. Those two teams are the number 1 seeds in their respective conferences. They were amazing. But I feel like this is Joel Embiid's award this season. He's done everything that he can to win this award for me personally. And the final award, Coach of the Year. I feel like this one is a pretty easy one. It's Mike Brown out in Sacramento. I mean, he really came in and flipped the Sacramento Kings from one of the laughingstocks of the league to one of the best and fun teams in the league. They came in, their offense is insane. De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, both all-star level players. Keegan Murray's fit right in. Harrison Barnes has been good. Kevin Huerter has been a perfect acquisition. Their bench has been great, even though you look at their bench and they don't really have any big names. They just come in and do their job and do what they're supposed to. And Mike Brown, you can see on the court as well. He puts a fire in this team. They really take it on his personality, which is a huge thing to have if you're a coach. He's handled things very, very well in Sacramento. And he's got this team third in the West at 48 wins. The Kings haven't been this good since like the early 2000s. They broke the playoff drought. The 16-year playoff drought is over. And they won their division for the first time since 2003 as well. I mean, he's got to be Coach of the Year. Who else? What other argument do you have for anybody else? That's better than Mike Brown's. Yeah, he deserves it, man. The Kings deserve it. They've done so much to get to this point, and Mike Brown's been a huge, huge, huge part of it. 2 other candidates that we consider: Joe Mazzulla, I consider for Boston, and then I also consider Jacques Vaughn for the Nets, for the turnaround that he had as soon as he came in, and then also with Katie and Kyrie, that whole drama leaving, and that's still making the playoffs and being good. I gave Jacques Vaughn some consideration as well in there, but ultimately it's got to be Mike Brown. And yeah, that's it for today's video. My awards for the 2023 season. Very excited to see who actually wins these awards. Yeah, just a really good year for awards. Especially with the new one being added as well. Some pretty tight races that I could see going a few different ways. And the MVP race, of course, is great this season. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Once again, if you do like the content, consider subscribing, turn on notifications, all stuff like that. Really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.